Hi, Andrew. Thanks so much for meeting me today.
No, of course. Happy to be here.
I thank you for sending through your consent form, and have you had a chance to read the explanatory statement?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that's really great. And before we begin, how's your day been so far?
Yeah, not too bad. The hot water service conked out, so had a bit of a stressful morning, but that's all fixed now, so all good.
Are you free to have the interview now? No interruptions?
Yes,
Yeah, great.
all good.
That's really good. Well, I really value listening to students' experiences in nature as part of my research. And as outlined in the explanatory statement, I'm looking at how students experience nature and how this could be a benefit to their well-being. I'm going to ask you some questions about your experiences of nature and if how it could be of benefit to you. Um, I will record. Uh, you can pass on questions. We can stop the recording anytime. You will remain anonymous. It'll be about 8 minutes. Are you happy to take part in the interview?
Yeah, happy to proceed.
Okay, that's great. Well, I'm going to start the recording now. So, nature can mean different things to different people. What does nature mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the environment that we evolved in.
Mhm.
So in in my view, it kind of stands in contrast to the environments that we've built, which can at times be quite oppressive, fluorescent lights and buzzing and closed-in walls and things. The natural environment kind of stands in contrast to that, and as a result, it feels like it's more welcoming. We can go into the natural environment and it just feels like where we should be, more centered, more grounded, and yeah, more welcoming, I would say.
So you mentioned that you feel that nature is welcoming. What role does nature play in your life?
Yeah, I think kind of following on from that theme, it provides a space where you can de-stress, you can work through thoughts, kind of defragment and order things for yourself. Um, because it removes a lot of those kind of human concerns, or I guess modern concerns would be a way of putting that, and just allows space to kind of breathe and think. And yeah,
Hmm. So you're saying that you find nature is a way of breathing and time to think and de-stress. How
Mm.
often in a typical week do you get to experience this?
Yeah, I'm really fortunate living in Canberra. It's called Australia's bush capital for a reason. Being a planned city, it's kind of integrated into the surrounding environment.
Hmm.
And that means that I'm really lucky to just be able to look out my window and see trees and open sky, step out into my backyard and kind of have the noise reduce and kind of hear the rustling of the leaves in the trees and the bird song. Um, so I'd say, daily, hourly kind of that kind of contact with nature. But I do also need to kind of do more formal um, activities in nature. One of my things is going out to an area where I can't see any human artifacts, so no buildings, no cars, no anything like that. And I'll probably do that weekly. I'll go for a run or a bushwalk or something out to an area where there's really nothing in my visual or auditory space that's kind of
Mm.
human made or modern, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah. So you've got nature when you look out your window, but then you really try once a week to really remove yourself from the man-made and get out there into the natural
Yeah,
environment.
exactly.
So, okay. So, is there a time, if at all, where being in nature really helped you with a particular challenge?
Yeah, so there's a history of mental illness in my family, and I've also experienced that. And in the past, I kind of experienced what I would call dysphoric episodes. It's kind of periods where I would be kind of inundated with really dark thoughts and ruminate on them and get really kind of emotionally agitated and worked up as a result. And one of the things I found helped, it didn't solve the problem, but it did help at least take the edge off, was to go out into the natural environment, go for a walk, kind of reduce some of the sensory input, that I was experiencing, or kind of remove some of the more negative sensory input
Hmm.
and have some more positive sensory
Hmm.
input that was kind of more calming, and that would just provide me with a bit of space to help deal with those thoughts and those feelings. So yeah, that was really beneficial.
Thank you so much for sharing that and a time when you were having dark thoughts and you were stepped out in nature. Are you happy to continue with the interview? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's
Yeah.
that's all history, so yeah,
Okay.
no problems
Okay.
talking about that.
So is there a particular type of nature or activity that you like to go to in the
Yeah, I think my most regular ones are probably bushwalking and running. I do a lot
Mhm.
of running. I guess, they kind of stand in contrast. One is more physical. It's kind of a training thing. So, and that's got its own physiological stresses when it comes to running and things.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's more of a hobby and an activity.
Yeah.
But there's also, I go deliberately walk in nature for more the mental health benefits and those things. Yeah.
And is that something you prefer alone or with a group?
Yeah, I tend to do a lot of those activities alone. I'll also go camping, which is more of a social activity. I'll do that with
Sure.
friends and family. But yeah, those more regular activities of running and bushwalking, I tend to do solo.
And that's really great. Are there any specific experiences that influence how much you feel benefit from being in nature?
Um, yeah, I would say it's just being out in the environment. I was referring before to the more kind of natural and positive sensory input. Feels like the sensory input that we've been adapted to as humans, as opposed
Mm,
to the more constructed environment, which is in some ways, I guess, almost anti-human. We have a really good way of making things that do us quite a bit of harm.
mm,
So,
yeah,
as I was alluding to before, fluoro lights and noises and open offices and all those kinds of things are not, I think, conducive and can kind of build up over time. So, yeah, having that more natural sensory input is really what I'm seeking.
that's really great. Thank you so much for sharing. Before I stop the recording, are there any questions, or anything further you'd like to add that hasn't come up in my questions?
Yeah, no, thank you. I think that's covered everything.
Okay, great. Well, I'll stop the recording now so that we can debrief. So just stopped. Thank you so much again for your time. Do you have any questions for me?
No, no, I think it's all good. Thank you.
Okay, well, as explained in the explanatory statement, I will transcribe our recording. You will be de-identified. I can give you a copy of once it's all been transcribed. Please refer to the services that are outlined in the explanatory statement if you've got anything that has come up for you. And also please email me if you've got any questions.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Andrew.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye.